Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 modding video. Today we're checking out another batch of releases by different mod authors over on the Nexus scene. And today we've got a bunch of new stuff, including new weapons, new armors, and overall just new content to add to your load order in Fallout 4. So let's go ahead and jump in with the first mod, known as the Cavalry Pistol by Alexerator. This is going to be the 1911 reimagined for Fallout 4 in a really nice lore-friendly style. This is going to take a lot of inspiration from the New Vegas version of the 45 auto pistol, while still making some references to the real-life 1911 and some of the older models of it, while still having a couple of uniques that change up the design and performance as well. This thing is going to be a pretty standard 1911 chambered in 45 caliber, so you don't need munitions or anything like that, but it is going to be integrated very well into the game, spawning at level 16 and can be found all over the Commonwealth. This thing does have leveled list integration, which is fantastic. It's going to spawn on raider bosses, gunners, Minutemen, Brotherhood scribes, triggermen, and of course you can purchase it from vendors or even find it in the legendary loot pool. On top of that, it's even going to be found as two different uniques, one of which is going to be a very Fallout-inspired design called the Colt 6500 prototype, and the other is going to be the Zion pistol based on the New Vegas version of the gun. So really cool Fallout-style versions of the 1911 that you can go and hunt down as well. Additionally, even though it's a pretty basic pistol, this thing does have custom animations thanks to Hitman, so you will get some really nice reloads when using this weapon, and I have to say I like the recoil on it quite a bit as well. And of course, there's also tons of customization over at the weapons workbench with tons and tons of attachments that you can throw on to change the performance of this weapon, and also its different aesthetics. There are quite a few 1911s out there on the Nexus, but I think this is one of the really well done lore-friendly implementations of the gun. I do quite enjoy this one. It is very nice, and it feels more vanilla than a lot of the offerings over on the Nexus. It feels like it does integrate well with a lot of the vanilla weapons and sits in the sandbox nicely, kind of as it should have if it was made by Bethesda themselves. Very good work by Alex. This is a really nice rendition of a 1911, and altogether just a nice pistol to add to your load order. Now up next, we're checking out a brand new armor mod by Tumbajamba. That's right, Tumbajamba's back with even more stuff. We've got a brand new armor known as the Minutemen Scout Armor, and this thing looks really cool, featuring a nice hat and gas mask, and a really cool looking scrappy outfit made out of a really neat duster and some armor as well, with different pouches and bullets. This thing looks really cool. And there's a really nice feature with this mod. Considering it is Tumbajamba, this is pretty special and new. This mod is added to the leveled list. Originally when this mod came out, it was not, but it has since been updated, and now you can actually find this on Minutemen. So if you spawn in any Minutemen with the flare gun or find any out in the world, they could be in this outfit. This does have multiple pieces. You can get the full Minutemen Scout outfit, but you can also get the gas mask, and that can actually be customized further at the armor's workbench, allowing you to swap out different headgear on top of the gas mask, so you can personalize it to yourself. Additionally, on top of the level list integration on the Minutemen, you can also purchase this armor set from vendors, so that's really nice as well. More ways to find this armor without having to craft it or spawn it in is always really nice. So excellent work by Tumbajamba there by implementing that and making this a more complete package. As usual, the quality of this armor is very nice. Tumbajamba does awesome stuff, and surprisingly does it all with vanilla nifs. This fits right at home in the sandbox, and I think it looks incredible. Really cool stuff for the Minutemen. I'm glad we're finally starting to see some Minutemen love in a lore-friendly style. This is really cool, and I can't wait to see what else Tumbajamba cranks out in the next coming days. Now, the next mod we're checking out is another weapon, but it's a pretty interesting one. That's going to be the Lever Action Carbine, a Fallout 3 lever action rifle mod by Alexerator. Now, this isn't going to be a completely new mod because it's actually based on my vintage repeater mod that I made that was based on the Fallout 3 lever action. Except this one is going to take a little bit more inspiration from Fallout 3 itself and implement this as an add-on to my mod. So it will require my mod, but this adds an entirely new gun based on my assets, and that's going to be the Lever Action Carbine. Now the difference here is my mod is chambered in 4440, and this one is chambered in 10mm like it was in Fallout 3, and it is balanced around that. It is added to the level list and will be found at level 8, and it'll spawn on raider bosses, Minutemen, trappers, vendors, and you can of course pick it up as a legendary drop as well. And there's even a unique. Now what's really interesting is in my mod, the standard version of the weapon was brass, and you could find a couple of uniques that were black and silver. In this mod, the standard variant is going to be steel, like it was in Fallout 3, and then it's going to be a unique that is brass based on Lincoln's repeater, and it's going to be known as that repeater, as a nice little homage there. So aesthetically, this weapon actually is different in terms of its color scheme. It's going to have a lot of the same attachments and a lot of the same meshes that my mod had, but it's going to have a completely different color scheme, and again, chambered in 10mm and spawns a little bit earlier in the game at level 8. So altogether, it technically adds a brand new gun to get a little bit more bang for your buck out of my mod, and adding even more variety to your game. For some people, this might feel a bit redundant, but in my opinion, if you're running, say, a cowboy load order and you want a lot of lever actions, having more variety in that area is pretty nice, as there's not too many mods for it. So more lever guns is always nice, and Alex does really good stuff. You could get this and the 1911 he produced earlier. Really, really cool mods. Alex is really doing some cool stuff over on the Nexus. Glad to see that he's back in full swing and making mods again. Now, up next, we have another armor mod, but this time it's not going to be an outfit, it's going to be modular armor sets. And that's going to be the early game armor pack, wood and tire armor by myself. That's right, I actually made this one. This is going to add 2 new armor sets into the game. Much like metal armor or raider armor or combat armor, this can be found in different pieces and will spawn on raiders early in the game. Now, one set is going to be made out of pieces of tires, and the other set is going to be made out of pieces of wood, using vanilla assets that were just kind of hidden away in the vanilla game. Now, this is going to be from DLC assets, but that's not really a big deal. It is 2024 after all, and the DLCs usually go on sale on Steam for like $1. So by now, that shouldn't really be an issue. That also means that it's going to add a completely different look to the vanilla raiders in the base game, as again, this is added to the level list. Anywhere that raiders might spawn with armor, you might find these armors instead, and it works with any Under Armour mods you have installed as well. Now, the title did say these are early game armors, and that's because they absolutely are. They spawn at level 1, so you'll find this right alongside Raider armor. You will immediately see a difference in a new load order. So, as soon as you spawn into the game, you will find Raiders hopefully wearing these armors. This is going to come with tons of new armor pieces. That is going to be the full tire set, which includes arms, legs, and a chest piece. And then wood armor also comes in the form of arms and a chest piece. There were no wood assets for the legs, sadly. Theoretically, I could maybe update this and add some new ones, but for now, it's going to spawn as such. That's still a lot of new armors to diversify up what you might see Raiders spawning in. I'm a big fan of diversity. That was really the whole point of this mod, was just trying to get a little bit more out there. So now whenever you run into Raiders, they should look a tad bit different than the same 3 armors over and over and over again. Who knows, maybe I'll get some more out in the future to make even more diversity in that area. And now it is time for one more mod, and that is, of course, going to be a weapon mod by Spadey, known as the Pipe Carbine. The Pipe Carbine is essentially an AR-15 rifle made out of the pipe gun parts from the vanilla game. It's a really interesting idea. The most tactical modern gun you can think of, well, maybe not the most, but definitely the most iconic, combined with the scrappy pipe parts from Fallout 4, making the Pipe Carbine. So it reloads like an AR-15, it looks like an AR-15, but it's made out of garbage. And that is completely the intent of Spadey. This thing is chambered in 223, which is a lower pressure round. However, you can rechamber it to 556. The 223, though, does mean that you are going to need to install munitions to use this mod. It'll start spawning at level 8, which is about the early to mid game, but it'll spawn everywhere that pipe weapons spawn. So it'll actually add more variety to the pipe weapon pool, which is really, really nice. On top of that, there's tons of attachments over at the weapons workbench, and I mean tons, different things that will change the aesthetic of the weapon as well as its performance. And there's even a unique that you can find that is hidden away that is actually a nail gun that will rechamber this thing to shoot nails from the munitions mods. So not only will you get a 223 and 556 option, you're also going to get one that shoots a very non-conventional ammo type in the form of nails. And it's very, very cool. That unique actually has a nail gun strapped to the bottom of it, which is very, very funny. Altogether, this makes for a pretty competent assault rifle, sort of a class of weapon we didn't really have in the vanilla game. Yes, of course, we did have the vanilla quote-unquote assault rifle, but that thing's a bit more of a machine gun. This is going to add a proper rifle that's chambered in 223 and 556. You can, of course, download a patch to get this into 556 only if that's sort of your thing, and then you'll have a proper assault rifle for the vanilla game. Just keep in mind, it is going to look like a pipe gun, so if that's your thing, then great. If it's not, then maybe this isn't the mod for you, but overall, it is a very high-quality one. Thanks to Spadey. Another really cool Nif Bash gun combining both vanilla assets and custom assets. Really, really cool stuff. With that though, I think that covers all of the mods that we have for this week, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to try any of these out, they will all be linked down in the description below as always, and some of these may even be available on Xbox as well. If you'd like to support my work directly, whether it's the videos I do here on YouTube or the mods I make on the Nexus, you can do so using the link in the description to support me on Patreon, but of course that is completely optional. No need to feel pressured to do so. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!